Okay. Hi, my name's Olivia Tambascio, born and raised in Boston. I'm studying genetics and minoring in theater. I'm a sophomore and I'm on the set team.
Hello, my name is Samantha Sanpietro. I am from Long Island, New York. I am a master's student at the BU School of Public Health studying maternal and child health, graduating in 2022, and I am part of the Already Home Tech team. I am involved in the set design team. I had never done this before, and it's been a blast working with my team on our hypothetical sets in our hypothetical little black box.
I think the biggest challenge was the fact that we weren't actually able to stage things. I think designing a set is one thing, and then seeing how it actually looks from the audience's perspective, as far as like layers and levels go, I think that's super important. And I think it's also really important to see how everything comes together, the costumes, the lights, the sound, the set, and just how the actors act on stage. And all of those influence how you build the world around them. And for that reason, I think it's a little harder because we have these great ideas and we're sure they would look good, but it's hard to see it all together at sometimes. And I think that's why this whole website that is being created for the show will be helpful, because you'll be able to go back and forth between costumes and set and the videos of how the actors are actually looking, to have it come together and be more cohesive.
So yeah, my vision for this set was to make it kind of as familiar and inviting as possible. Dorm rooms, and they're so personal to everyone. You enter someone's room and you can kind of understand them in a way. So I think that was really important for the dorms, and making sure we kind of captured each character's vibe, the little details that are mentioned in the script, what they would want their room to look like. So that was my focus, was the dorms. So that was my biggest, goal in creating them.
I think a lot of what we decided to do was base the set on our own experiences, and all of us have different college experiences, but we all kind of took in little pieces of ourselves and put it in the set. And that's especially evident with using a lot of BU looking set pieces and set deck and design on the flats, such as in between the classrooms. One thing that we decided to do was include this motif of flowers, and we got that from reading the script. And also the TDs had this vision and they were like, flowers are really important. And then upon reading the script, we were like, oh yeah, I think flowers would be great. So in each scene, whether it's obvious or not, there is this aspect of a flower. There might be a flower in a picture on the wall or on the bulletin board, or it might be more obvious, such as in the funeral home. There are flowers, obviously, or a vase with a flower that's wilted on a table. So we really wanted this motif throughout the whole thing, and it kind of tied the set together even more.
I am also very lucky to be a part of the show, and I focused on Clara and Eve's dorm in Act 1 and Act 2 because it's one of the bigger focal points of our set, and I am lucky enough to play both Clara and Eve. So we got to do these wonderful character workshops throughout this process, where all of the different Claras and Eves and other characters did them as well, got to talk about, what we thought Clara was like, how we would describe her, what her hobbies were, what music she would listen to, what shows she likes, all of that stuff. And that was really helpful for me to create this dorm because, dorms, especially a freshman dorm, it's your first kind of home outside of wherever you were living, whether it be with family or, family friends. This is kind of one of the first spaces you can really make for yourself when you get to college and create a little home for yourself. So I really kind of wanted to, focus on what Clara and Eve would have on their walls, what color their comforters and pillows would be, were they going to coordinate their color schemes, how Clara's desk would be, how Eve's desk would be. Clara is said to be very messy, so her desk has a lot more books on it. There's not as much little organizers, they always keep flowers in their dorm, they have a little rug where they keep their mini fridge. All of that stuff is just so vital to, you know, especially a freshman dorm.
I really liked the funeral home, and I know that's really morbid, but I really liked figuring out what type of flowers to put in. So I did a lot of research on types of flowers, what they represent, what age of people usually get what flowers, what professions, etc. And so I spent a lot of time and put a lot of heart and soul into that. And I wrote a pretty long description for it as well. So I think that's my favorite piece. But I also really liked doing the office and also just taking pieces from other people's scenes and just putting them into mine. So it came together more. I thought that was really cool because we all had similar ideas, and then we were like, oh, let's just make this like a reoccurring artistic piece. And that's kind of how the flowers went, except the flowers were pre-established by us as a group. And yeah, so I really liked that little collaboration after we submitted our like first draft to everyone.
And then in Act 2, you know, Clara is grieving her sister, so really, you know, kind of focusing on making that set a little bit darker and, you know, making it a little more messy. And Clara's side, you know, her bed's never made, there's more stuff on the floor, kind of really showcasing the shift in energy that was really there in Act 1 versus Act 2.
I definitely want everyone to know that it's obviously a different format, but I think that the format that has been created can be successful in the future. I think Issa did a really great job at kind of making a medium that is accessible to everyone and can really change the way that theater is seen. Even if a show is put on in person, having something like this to look back on in hindsight, kind of like, I know they do this in a lot of professional shows, but you keep a book and you keep all the designs and all the preliminary work and photos of the final product and process pictures. I think that the way that Issa did this virtually is so cool, and I think that people need to pay attention to this because it will be seen in the future.
I want the audience and viewers to know that Already Home will take you on an emotional roller coaster, but you will leave, you know, kind of invigorated with a nice sense of hope, and that the tech team has worked so hard to create, you know, just wonderful things from sound effects to lighting, and really kind of create as much a hypothetically full-scale production.
While it isn't like live, it's living, you know?